tell us about your experience, who you are, and how much lake time you get.
Okay, so my name is Brian Fink. I'm on the Lakes and Beaches Committee. I've been running the fishing tournaments out here for 3 years. I moved here and they needed someone to do it, and I fished a couple times and they're like, hey, you should do this. I said, okay. So I kind of got thrown into it, but you know, it's a good group of guys, you know. I find myself not even going anywhere to fish anymore because I've made friends out here. I enjoy it so much, so I stay here and fish now instead of driving an hour and a half, 2 hours, 3 hours. But it seems like, from what I've heard from everybody, the fish used to be better. The fishing used to be better. Now, I don't know so I've only been here 3 years. So you guys kind of have to work with me here. So, you know, did we spray the lakes 10 years ago? Nobody knows. Okay, so when did we start spraying? Does anybody know? Can't you know?
More than 4 years ago.
More than 4 years ago? So I only have the numbers for the last 3 years on our average fish size. I calculate every fish that comes in that's 14 inches or bigger. Okay, some years we have more boats than others. So the first year we weighed in 142 fish that were over 14 inches. Our average fish was 1.6 pounds. That was our average of our big fish. That's not including all the small ones we threw back. Same goes for 2023, 1.63. This year it's been a little better. It's been an average of 1.93. But the Missouri state average, I did some research today, should be, let's see here, 2.5 pounds. Average. Now that's average from 0 to however big. You know, however big, you know, a large one might get, you know, just crazy on the other end of the spectrum. So that's an average bass. So 15 inches, 2.5 pounds. We're nowhere near that. That's an average. And this is over 600 fish that we've documented. Just the big ones. That's not including all the rest. You know, and people say there's no fish in the lake. That's crazy. That is crazy. There's a lot of fish in there. One bass, 3,000 to 7,000 eggs per year. One. Crappies, that's, let's see. They have an average of 30 to 200,000 eggs per year. So it's not of a matter if we need to stock the lakes. It's a matter of the food chain and the food web that this clean flow is helping, that, you know, is in the all-in-for rangery. So 1 pound of bass, it takes 8 pounds of bluegills to make that 1 pound of bass. Crayfish, snails, and insects, it takes 58 pounds to make that 8 pounds worth. The zooplankton, it takes 410 pounds to make that work. Now that zooplankton eats something called phytoplankton. The phytoplankton, it has to start with 3,200 pounds to make 1 pound of bass. Now, if we're spraying a bunch of these chemicals in this lake, what do you think's happening to that phytoplankton, that zooplankton? It's killing it. It's killing the food chain. So if we can get something that's all natural and it helps everything, we can get that big food web back.
Hey Brian, real quick,
Yeah.
does the clean flow, does that provide what you're asking for?
Correct.
Okay.
So what it does is it takes everything from the bottom and it starts churning stuff up. So when we're spraying stuff, it brings everything to the bottom. All the copper sulfate brings everything to the bottom. So once that goes to the bottom, it creates more nutrients for the weeds that everybody hates in here to grow back up. So once that grows back up, we spray it again, right? 60,000 a year that we're spraying on this. And it keeps coming back. And every time we spray it, it just creates more muck. It creates more nutrients for everything else to grow again. So it's just a vicious cycle we're fighting. So once we have our fish here that we all know that are kind of on the smaller end, they're stunted now. Okay? The Missouri Department of Conservation released a handbook. It's called Missouri Pond and Lake Handbook. Right out of the book, it says per acre you should be taking out 20 pounds of bass. 20 pounds. That's a lot. So for Autumn Lake, they suggest us taking out 3,500 pounds of fish annually.
Take it out.
Take it out, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
We got slot size here.
Correct, correct, yeah. 12 to 15 is the slot, right. Yep, and then for Spring Lake, it would be 1,500 pounds annually that would have to be taken out. I mean, I don't see people taking bass out, you know, so it's just, and their lifespan is anywhere from 10 to 15 years. So every year, there's just more and more and more little fish.
That's 2.5 times the fish you're catching now at the larger size at 2.5.
Right.
That's a lot of fish.
And this is just some food for thought, you know, and I know there's been declining shad populations, and that might have been what was kind of keeping our fish in check, and, you know, there's a lot of fish, but we also had a lot of bait fish. I'm not seeing any out there. I don't know if anybody else is, but not really seeing the shad balls. Yeah.
Who regulates all these guys coming in fishing during the week when you're not around?
I don't know. I'm in St. Louis working 40 hours a week.
I know.
I don't know.
There's a lot of these guys come in
Oh,
with
yeah.
the deep or shallow wall anchors on their boat. They got
Power
two
pole.
of them, you know.
Oh, yeah.
They're primed for fishing. How do you know what they think out of this lake?
You don't. And I've also heard stories of people come in here. There is smallmouth in the lake too, but we try to, you know, we don't really try to bring them into the tournaments. We probably just let them go right there. Don't even weigh them in. We like them so much, we just want to keep them in the lake. But there's been reports of people getting 5 each. Hey, let's get 10 smallmouth and go and throw them in my lake down the road.
Yeah, that's wrong.
So we need to come up. Yeah.
Catch-all.
Yeah.
Same thing with the walleye.
It shouldn't happen though if we have a sticker to post it. Because I live real close to the lake. I drive across the dam. Every time I come out, I look at the post and see if there's stickers on there.
Right.
It's everybody's responsibility.
What do you do?
You call,
Call
file a complaint.
Call who?
You call the office up here.
There's nobody at the office.
Well, you know what I mean? A lot of complaints, right down the license
The
plate.
guy says, yeah, I'll take care of it.
Are you saying we need to take more fish out, or there's too many taken?
Bass.
No, there's too many bass in that lake. We need to take them out. But that's kind of beyond the point. The point is there's too many fish in there, and there's not enough food at the bottom, that zooplankton and all this, and the phytoplankton in this lake. And every time we spray it, it kills everything. It depletes the oxygen, and the microorganisms can't survive. So there's no shad anymore.
Brian, what brings that plankton in? Do we stock that, or does
No,
that
it's
create it
natural. It's
automatically?
natural occurring.
Okay.
Every time we spray it, or it can't survive.
What about placing some
Every
structure?
time you spray your yard,
Is there structure in the
spray
lake?
chemicals on your yard, and you live on the lake, or you blow leaves into the lake, you're killing your own lake. Every
That's
time
where-
a lawn company comes out and sprays your yard, there's a certain amount that's gonna go in the lake because of rain before it dries or whatever. Those chemicals kill your lake. You blow your leaves into the lake, that kills your lake. We're actually killing our own lake.
Well, that's where the clean flow comes in the process to naturally move the stuff off the bottom, to create an environment where there are nice sized fish, amoebas eat other amoebas and plankton, and it works.
But if we don't regulate chemicals going in our lake, we're wasting our money. I think it's a great program.
It
I've
would.
researched it, I read all about it. It's a great program for helping our lake. The problem is, you can't keep adding chemicals and junk in your lake.
I think it would be one or the other.
There's one arm of your lake that I can't even get my boat in.
Yeah. Yeah.
The
And
grass
that's
is so bad that my trolling motors quit running. The lake is that full of grass from the bottom up.
the clean flow is supposed to do the biodredging, where it's supposed to take enzymes and oxygen and start eating away at all the organic matter.
It takes 5 years for that to work out.
Right. But like we've all been talking about they talk about mechanically dredging the lake, right? Okay, well there's a sewer that runs through the middle of the lake. I happen to be a plumber, and I would say, no, don't be touching that duct line that's 40 years old. That would be a big thing. And then we have to dispose of that somewhere, and with all the problems we've been having with the lead in here, we have to get it tested. But what if it tests positive for lead? What are we gonna do with it? You can't dispose of it somewhere, it's gonna be really expensive to do that.
I haven't been here as long as all those people have, but is there anybody here that knows, was there ever a sewer line running into this lake?
Yes.
There's your problem. That killed your lake from day one.
You mean an open sewer line?
Open sewer
No,
line.
it's all closed, you can see it.
It's a sewer,
But it's never.
sewer pipe.
So if it has.
Why am I paying for damn toilet?
That's why you don't want to bridge, because.
Shit, it wasn't on the recording, was it?
The line breaks, you're gonna end up having to tear the dam down. That's gonna be 4 years before there's water back in the
I
lake.
agree with that.
Bio dredge, it just makes sense and it's clean.
Well, and I was a proponent of mechanically dredging because I'm in one of those coves that's really low, knee deep. And we built a boathouse 2 years ago. I had 4 foot of water all around my boat house. I've got places already right now, knee deep or lower, because of all the stuff comes in, the runoff. But mechanically spending all that money to do the dredging, in 2 years' time, it's gonna fill right back up, whereas the bio dredging is a continual thing, and it dissolves it in a manner that's gonna be good, and not making a hole for it to be
Right.
filled back up.
Kinda goes back to the roads thing, you wanna build a good road, right? Something's gonna keep maintaining itself, not
It's just an electric bill
Right.
as we move forward. That's it.
I have a question about the lakes. Are you addressing the 2 small lakes in the forest?
That would be in it, right, Ken? Yeah, that's, what's that, Winter and, Summer Lake, yeah, that
All 4
is,
lakes.
yeah, that is.
All 4 lanes.
With clean flow, there would roughly be between 17 and 20 different compressors around all of the lakes.
Okay. We have some big fish. I'm looking at my phone for the fish that my grandson got 2 years ago. It's a big fish.
Yeah.
We got big fish.
That's what I
And we
mean.
got big turtles.
That's what I want to do. I mean, my son's 2 years old. I want to raise him up where we can catch fish. You know, I don't have to take him somewhere else to go catch fish. Go catch fish in the backyard. You know? Right?